Good afternoon, students. Today we are reading about the themes of Arms and the Man, or in another way, the question can be asked as Arms and the Man as an anti-war and an anti-romantic play. Now let us begin. Arms and the Man is one of the best play of George Bernard Shaw. It was performed for the first time in London in the Avenue Theatre in 1894. After 112 years have passed, but still this play is entertaining the viewers with its humor and its satire. The play has two themes. One is war and the other is marriage. They are interwoven. Both the themes, war and marriage, are interwoven with each other. According to the author, the war is stupid affair and it is very evil, and marriage is essential and good for mankind. But both are covered up in romantic illusions, and this leads to disastrous war and unhappy marriage because it is not the people are not dealing with it in reality. Their thoughts are covered with romantic illusions for both of these themes, so it doesn't end up well. Arms and the Man is also a social satire because Shaw has laughed at the romantic illusion of both war and married life. The romantic view of war is that men fight because they are heroes. People thought that men fight because they are very brave and their chivalry was honored and they are heroes. So Shaw was not of this view. So he has laughed on this view on the chivalry and war in this play. The soldiers are killed, and the hero who is killing the soldiers is honored as a great man. So this view is not correct. So according to Shaw, this anti-war theme is the correct view of the war. The first act in the play is set in the bedchamber of a young, beautiful Bulgarian lady. She is also the protagonist of the novel, and her name is Rena. And she is lost in romantic illusions of her fiance Sergius, who has won, because of whom the battle is being, the Bulgarians have won the battle, and the mother and the maid servant of the family, Loka, they come and tell that the war has been won by the Bulgarians, and the hero of the war is Sergius. So she should be very proud, and she is again lost in romantic illusions and romantic thoughts of Sergius, and she even kisses a photo of Sergius before going to bed. Now, she is the only daughter of Major Petkov and Catherine, and she belongs to an elite class. Her father and her fiancé Sergius are fighting in the battle. Rena Petkov, in the beginning of the play, wants to become the wife of Major Sergius because she has romantic views about him, that he is a very brave soldier, and she has romantic illusions about wars also. Now, when this news comes that because of Sergius the battle has been won, so she is immersed in the romantic view more, and she is murmuring, my hero, looking at the picture of Sergius. So she is living in a dreamy world, and it is not correct for a marriage to take place while we are living in a dreamy world. The marriage should be taken place while the reality of the world and the reality of both the persons are seen correctly. Now, she is encountered by a soldier who runs away from the battlefield and comes to hide in her bedchamber, Blutistil. He is a Serb, and he is a Swiss, and he is fighting for the Serbs. He is a professional soldier, and according to the war that is being taken place, Blutistil is an enemy officer, and this officer runs away from the war and takes shelter in Rena's room. He is deadly tired and full of fear, and his uniform is dirty with mud, blood, and snow. He escaped from the Russian and Bulgarian troops, and he climbed through the water pipe into her balcony. He is afraid to die, unlike a soldier, and she is very much surprised hearing this. So she encounters a new kind of a soldier. He tells her that very experienced soldiers are afraid to die, and they keep chocolates in their pocket instead of cartridges, because food is important to a soldier as the weapons. So he is having professional skill and intelligence, and he places his intelligence above this, above chivalry and war. So he also tells Rena that the charge led by Sergius, which led to winning the battle, was a foolish attempt. Only the ammunitions of the Serbs were wrongly supplied, and so by sheer luck Sergius won this battle. And he would have, if they had the correct ammunitions, the whole of the troop would have died, and he would be responsible for letting his troop die in this war. So the wise thing in the battle is to avoid death and killing, and that is why professional soldiers like Brutus still keeps chocolate cream in their rifle cartridge instead of cartridges. So because he is of the view that life is more important than anything else in this world. Thus Shaw introduces a true soldier in Bluchestill, and Sergius represents a romantic view of war. As all Shavian heroes, Bluchestill is too anti-romantic and practical-minded, and he is sharp and efficient in his work. The war has ended, and the soldier has come home. Sergius too has learned some things of the reality of the war, and he begins to hate the war. And he has sent for his resignation since he is not granted promotion. He says, soldiering is the coward's act of attacking mercilessly when you are strong and keeping out of harm's way when you are weak. That is the secret of all successful fighting. Now Bluchestill shows Rena her real character beneath the romantic mask that she has worn from her childhood. She does not like the real Sergius. She has made an imaginary Sergius in her mind. Similarly, she has also built an imaginary romantic Rena. As soon as Bluchestill comes to Rena's room, he learns that she lives in her imaginary world of dreams. On the other hand, Bluchestill is a man of experience, a professional soldier, and he has undergone all sufferings, and he knows the naked realities of life, including love and war also. That is why Bluchestill tells on the face of Rena these words, "When you strike that noble attitude and speak in that thrilling voice, I admire you. But I find it impossible to believe a single word you say." So friends, this was the first part of the theme of Arms and the Man, or Arms and the Man as an anti-romantic and an anti-war play. Now rest of the part will be explained in the second video. Thank you.